we are, doing the thing. My sheep is dead. I'm not sure what happened. I think there was a lightning strike. I had that lower before. I think lightning strike still killed it. It does what it do. It's circle of life. So, it's been a little over a year since I've talked about this world. Since I've even, I don't know, spoken. I've been wanting to make this video at least a month prior, but it is what it is. I get busy in my own thoughts in life and yada yada. I should have watched the video, the previous video, to sort of recap on what I spoke about last time. Nah, it don't matter. It don't matter. I don't care. Not really. This is just here to document progression. And also to kind of treat as like a journal of sorts. To keep my thoughts. To speak about my thoughts. That's new. I know that much. And I mean, this whole chunk. The hole is bigger. The hole is bigger than last time. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's like, I don't know, 60 to 70% finished. I wanted to spend this entire video just filling up this with all the tinted glass. I put the tinted glass on the floor so that these slimes don't spawn. Because that's very annoying having any kind of mob spawn. Chickens? That's a story. You'll find chickens everywhere because I wanted to make like a wither skeleton farm using the wither roses and whatnot. I just spawned a bunch of chickens and then I used the wither to kill them. I spawned the wither in one of these like chunks. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna dig this out anyway, so I'll just spawn the wither in here. There's a lot of chickens. A lot of chickens. Lots of chickens. And then you'll find a bunch of iron golems here too, because up there I've got a bunch of villagers. I'll show that. This video is going to be all over the place. I'm not even going to try to keep it structured. I'm just going to kind of walk around, talk about things, show things off, and then once I get into the boring part, quote unquote boring part, I'll just kind of speak my mind. I've had some thoughts that I've wanted to share for quite some time. So anyway, yeah, villagers. I've been trading with these guys, getting the emeralds, and then I take the emeralds and then I trade them for glass, because I know in the future I'm gonna need a lot of glass. I use the XP to repair my pickaxes. You know, just kind of like a slow, methodical process of building up the resources I need for the future without trying to make some big giant machine or whatever. Because this first part, it's supposed to be boring. It's supposed to be slow. Just to say that I did it. Yep. It is what it is. And these golems, they just spawn. They just spawn just cause. And there used to be a bunch more, and they would always go over there. We had a whole group of them, just like walking about. And then I killed them, because I think I needed the iron. And I didn't want to smelt what I already had. Because I'm weird. So I just killed them. So yeah. And then these guys, this is just, I don't know if you can see it, but there's carrots in there. I got some farmers farming some carrots. And then I use the carrots to get the emeralds. Yada yada. You know the business. This is just a reminder. I've been on 1.21.5? Yeah. I've been on one, yeah, since last video, I think. 1.21. What, 11 or 12 or whatever? Tiny Takeover, that's the most recent update, and I have little to no interest in upgrading to that. One, because it's like, it's whatever. But two, it's sort of like the mod support. It's like, how do I know if my mods are even supported? Most of them. I guess the essentials like sodium and whatnot. But even then, it can kind of get a little iffy. There was one, what's it called? Enhanced block entities. Allows you to render chests from like any distance, basically. Among other things, like shulker boxes as well. Without that mod, I would not see these. But that's the thing, like that mod was not updated for 1.21.5. So I had to find some other mod, something. That sort of did the same thing, and even then it's not even technically supported for this version of Minecraft. And yet, I go into the config files and I set the number for how far I want these chests to render and whatnot, and it works. So, but as long as I don't, what is it? Yeah, this one. As long as I don't click on this, then it's fine. When I click on this, the game crashes. Because, like I said, it's not officially supported for this version. So yeah, that's wait, what else can I show? Okay. I can show the end. I don't think I've done anything new in the Nether. Well, okay, I tried making a wither skeleton farm. I guess I can show that. Kind of a pathetic attempt. I did a little bit. Oh no, I gotta go this way. I think, yeah, right over here. So, I don't quite remember why I dug out this place. I think this is where they were supposed to drop down. Or here, something. Okay, I need to go to the top. Can't see anything. I don't even remember. Okay, well, kind of makes sense. Because it's like, okay, I need a bunch of wither skeleton skulls at some point to make all these beacons, right? Oh my gosh, a lot of beacons. But at the same time, it's like, I kind of overreacted with how many beacons I'm actually going to need. So I just kind of gave up halfway through. Oh yeah, all the buttons to prevent all the spawns and whatnot. I don't need this. I don't need that. I don't even... This way. Yeah, here. A lot of these roses are kind of missing because a bunch of blazes kept spawning anyway. I'm not entirely sure why, what happened, what I was doing wrong. Something, something. I don't know. Like I said, I just gave up. I just started killing skeletons on my own. I was like, alright, this is enough. Whatever. It's whatever. I don't want to go through there. No, thank you. Ouch. Okay. Kerchow. So in here, the only really difference is that I made a shulker shell farm. Oh my goodness, wow, so cool. And man, was it a pain. It was silly, really. So this design I found on the interwebs. I forget who exactly designed it, but I took it. I was like, hey, that looks pretty nice. I don't need any machines or doohickeys or whatever. It's just build this thing and then I sit in the middle and then it works. But funny thing is, I was like, I don't need that many. I don't need it to be that efficient. I don't need that many shulker shells. So I only did like one layer. I built like half of this. And the problem was, I guess it wasn't enough spawn points for the shulkers to teleport to, because by the time I would get the shulker into its spot, it would shoot the projectiles, but then it would end up killing itself before it ever duplicated. So I was like, okay. I had to run back to an end city, so far away, like over 3,000 blocks, somewhere over there. You can see my little railway there. Over 3,000 blocks away, somewhere in that direction. Like 3 or 4 times before I realized, like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to build the whole thing. Now it works. Now I have a bunch of shulker shells. More than I can count. Actually, no, that's not true. It's only like 9 stacks or something. I don't know why I'm going this way. I need to go back home. More than I can use right now. I'll say that much. But definitely not as many as I will need at some point. Because I'm trying to keep... Like all these are all the ores that I'm mining. We got gold, we got iron, we got damage. And at some point I'm gonna probably either hold on to them or turn them all into the gems. Yeah, I'll probably want to keep some for building blocks. Can't really get them any other way. But besides the point. Okay, oh, wow, super cool. Wow, I'm so rich. Wow, so cool. Okay, well, let's get the main business of this video going. I need more tinted glass. I have that glass, but I need the amethyst shards, so I'm gonna go collect those. That way, while I'm placing down the glass, they'll start to regrow and whatnot. Oh, and then, yeah, this doohickey. This was my very rough it. Oh, I've already collected it. It's very slow and inefficient anyway, but it's something. It collects the shards automatically. But like I said, it's very slow, so it doesn't even work that well. Does not give me as many as I need as soon as I need them. So I still have to do this manually. Is this suck touch? Yes it is, okay. while I'm doing this, I suppose I can start on the main topic of this video. Something along the lines of, like, I think I'll title this video like, the shame. Something about shame. Shame of being gifted, or maybe something else. The shame of being different. I think for me it revolves more around being gifted, right? Being like, oh my gosh, this super great creature. God's greatest gift amongst my family, or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I've always been treated as more than how I feel I am. Like I am this, well, the favorite, basically, more or less. That I am the one with all the goods, with all the great things to be given to any person. And I think naturally the first question that comes to mind is like, how can you be shameful? How can you feel ashamed for having all the good things, right? For being a good person, for being admired. Why would anyone feel shame for that? Well, that's what I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna explain my perspective on what it's been like for me growing up as the gifted child. Super smart kid that loved to learn, that loved following the rules and being the super good boy that he thought he was supposed to be. Getting straight A's and being just overall above average in almost everything. When it came, academics, athleticism, humor, popularity, even. Just overall, I don't know. It felt like there was always a lot more attention on me just for the way that I was. And I never even asked for it. I never went out of my way looking for people's attention. They just gave it to me. They thought I was this thing that was so cool to look at or think about or talk about. I'm not really describing this in a very good way. So, I'll just kind of go through a simple story. Quote unquote simple. I probably won't do a good job at making it simple, but a story of my life, so to speak, through the lens of this topic of shame for being gifted. God damn it! I keep breaking the thing. Funny enough, I don't even know where to start. Well, I guess I can start with my recent diagnosis. I've struggled with depression for the last 10 years or so of my life. I'm 25 now, as of a couple days ago. Struggling with depression since I was a teenager. And it wasn't until a little over a year ago that I finally decided to go through the process of getting a proper psychological evaluation. Why am I so depressed? What's going on? Why? Why am I the way that I am? What's going on? For a few years, I generally thought I was autistic. Like I was trying to shape my worldview around this through the lens of autism, but something never quite fit. And that something was along the lines of like people who are autistic or on the spectrum in some way, they, for the most part, they desire to fit in. Right? They go out of their way to try and make friends, but they're so different in such subtle ways that nobody wants to be friends with them. Nobody is willing to tolerate with their quirks. So they get rejected, and of course, problems ensue with that. You know, social ineptitude, and then feelings of inadequacy, and just overall isolation. But for me, I never quite vibed with that. I tried to make it fit. I tried to make that explanation fit, like, I struggle with social cues and yada yada, and I don't understand facial expressions. It's like, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true at all. I would say the only part of that really matches is my general lack of emotional expression. That's kind of it. But lo and behold, turns out there is a disorder of sorts that overlaps heavily with autism, specifically to do with that, like, difference in emotional expression, and that disorder is schizoid personality disorder. It's been a while since I've actually read the proper diagnosis, but from what I can remember, from what I've been trying to understand, it's just this sort of general disinterest in social anything to do with socializing, right? Talking to people, emoting in general, expressing any kind of emotion, expressing opinions, expressing my thoughts, talking to people, acknowledging that other people exist. You know, something as simple as a hello. It's like I just, why in the what is baby zombies are so fast, dude. What in the world? I wake up and he's biting my legs. So yeah, general disinterest in just socializing in general. Just like little interest in trying to make friends, little interest in trying to fit in, do anything that involves other people, to be honest. For the longest time, I thought, I'm just introverted. I'm just introverted. Yeah, I'm just more introverted than most introverts. And, I mean, that is true to an extent. But the important thing that I have realized, and I think I'm thinking of this correctly, is that personality disorders, you were not born with a personality disorder. You develop it. Personality disorders of any kind, right? Whether it's borderline personality or schizoid or schizotypal or whatever else. I forget a lot of them. These are developed, right? It is a disorder of your personality. Personalities are developed, okay? The traits that influence your personality, those are innate. Those are genetic to a degree, right? And for me, those innate traits are general introversion, just like, quiet kid. I've always been a quiet kid. Always. People found me quite odd sometimes, just for that. But I still wanted friends, you know, growing up as a kid. I wanted to play with the other kids and whatnot. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to be a good boy. I wanted to participate in class. Right, like I said, straight A's, the golden child. I didn't really turn into the sort of stereotypical quiet kid, the loner quiet kid that you might think of, that most people might low-key suspect will do some evil shit. Like, oh, I don't know, shoot up a school or something. You know, so something wild like that. I was never that kind of kid until I became a teenager. You know, when I got really moody and I really went into the role of avoiding any kind of social interaction. Wearing a gray hoodie. No facial expressions whatsoever. Monotone, never talk to anybody. Like, one quick look at me and it's like, I was that stereotype. Internally, I was not. Not at all. Right? The biggest difference between me and that kind of stereotype is usually the sorts of kids that end up doing really bad things like that, they are rejected. Like, they have tried to be social, they have tried to make friends, they have tried to be a part of a community of any kind, and they just straight up get rejected. Because they're strange or whatever. And they keep trying and they keep getting rejected, so they kind of give up and then they form resentment. And that's why they do terrible things. As a sort of fuck the world. But for me, it was just like, I just don't care. And I don't care, and I'm protecting my peace, my space. How do I protect my space? By never talking to anybody. Nobody can invade my space if nobody knows who I am, if nobody has any reason to get into my space. That's it. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want revenge of any kind. I just want people to not talk to me. That's it. And all the little behaviors that I've developed over those years to ensure that nobody ever talked to me, to make myself as unapproachable as possible. Well, they made me very isolated. It has led to the development of this personality disorder, where I never express emotion on my face or through my voice, at least not in public. I'll talk about that later. Like, in public, I never express myself, but when I'm playing video games with my friends, I'm very expressive. I'm quite literally a completely different person. Okay, I think that's all of them on this one. Oh, there's a few on the bottom, but whatever. We'll move on. Moving on. Boop-a-doo. So, okay. Yeah, so that's the sort of gist of what it means to be someone who is schizoid, who has schizoid personality disorder. But the hardest thing that I've been trying to come to grasp with is how someone, such as myself, specifically myself, comes to develop that disorder. Why? Why would anyone develop those behaviors to completely, what's the word? Absolve? Maybe that might be an appropriate word. To completely absolve themselves of any interest of anything. Mostly to do with social activities or relationships or anything, but in turn, like, if you're not interested in anything social, then, well, you have to kind of remove yourself from everything, because everything is social to some degree. You have to interact with people at some point with almost anything. Otherwise, you're living in your own sort of delusional fantasy. And sure, I wouldn't doubt that a lot of schizoid are like that, and even me, to some degree. But I'm still quite social when it comes to my friends online, my gaming friends. I genuinely feel that the friends that I've made from playing video games online are the closest relationships anyone could ask for. Right? And of course, nobody in my real life, my family specifically, really knows anything about that. Yeah, they know I have friends that I play with online, but they don't know, they really don't know them. And in turn, my family doesn't know me. They don't know anything about me. They've heard me sometimes, being my goofy, weird, playful self while I'm playing the video games, but they never know the full context. So it's like, oh, he's just having fun. And it's like, no, it's more than that. I'm being myself. And that's where the problem comes. That's where the problems arise when someone with schizoid, or someone who isolates themselves in general, starts to face the realities of depression and whatnot. And it's because there's this mismatch. There's this deep mismatch of who they are and how they represent themselves. I go out of my way to hide every bit of myself as possible from anyone outside of the internet. And I'm sure anyone can imagine what that might be like, to never feel like it's safe to be yourself. losing my train of thought here. One moment, please. Probably should have written a lot of this down, but nah. I don't wanna. I'm too lazy. Well, I suppose I could sort of get into why anyone would want to hide any part of themselves. You know, especially a part of themselves that is so intrinsic to their core, their true self, as one might say. That child that I used to be, the fun, playful, smart, witty, energetic, delight to be around. Why would I hide that part of me? Everybody loves it. Everybody loves that kind of person. Everybody loves that child. Everybody gave that child so much admiration and adoration and love and attention. Why would I hide that? Well, turns out I don't like attention. For starters. I don't like being the center of attention. And also, like, over the years, I've sort of learned that me just being me, whenever I just do what I do, whenever I ace a test, get a perfect score on an assignment, or, you know, outperform one of my peers, it makes them feel bad. Right? I'm sitting there, I'm enjoying myself, I'm trying to do the best that I can do, and I'm winning, basically. And yet, there are kids that try to do the same, and they don't reach my level. In whatever way you might define achievement, they don't reach it. They start to feel inferior about me. The best examples come to... other kids start to compare themselves to you. Oh, I'll never be as smart as you, Cameron. Oh, I'll never be as fast as you. Oh, I'll never be as funny as you, or as smart, you know, whatever. And it's like, oh, right, I started to get the clue that me just being who I am tends to make other people feel bad about themselves. So what do I do about that? How can I help those people? Well, I just stop sharing my achievements. Stop showing off, so to speak. Even though I never was necessarily showing off. Like, I wasn't rubbing it into people's faces. I wasn't going around showing all of my achievements to everybody. Be like, haha, see, I'm better than you. Haha, look how cool I am. No, I was just being me. And then I look off to the side, and my peers, they start to grow insecure because they aren't as good as I am in one one way or another, something. It's like I can't necessarily control that. You know, I can try and help them understand, but it's like I don't know. Sometimes your own perspective is so different that you can't even communicate to other people how you see things. Because you might as well be speaking a different language. You might as well be living in a completely different world. You know, it's... It's like it's like trying to talk to somebody who doesn't know anything about the fundamental theorem of how calculus or whatever. Just basically like, so long as you have an infinite amount of anything, then you can determine the finite area or number of something. It's been a long time. Well, almost 10 years since I've taken calculus, so I probably butchered that. But hopefully you know what I mean, right? You take a circle and you cut it up into a bunch of rectangles. The smaller of those rectangles you make, the more precise your measurement will be. So all you have to do is just take the area of all the rectangles together, and then boom, you have the area of a circle. If you can make those rectangles infinitely small, then you have an exact, precise measurement of the area of that circle. Or the perimeter, or whatever. Trying to explain that to someone who barely even understands addition, it's like good luck, right? You'd have to explain all of the theorems of mathematics from just basic arithmetic all the way through algebra and all the way up to calculus in order for you to be on the same page of what you're talking about. If you wanted to start discussing anything beyond calculus, even just calculus on its own, right? If you wanted to start describing the physics of the world around you, the physics of the universe, the laws of the universe, you both need to be on the same page in order to understand each other. So sometimes trying to help someone by teaching them how you see the world, it's futile. And as a kid, like, how the fuck are you supposed to understand how to do that? Like, what? Cameron, why are you so awesome? I don't know. What are you talking about? I'm just me, dude. What do you mean? You're just so awesome, dude. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that information. What do I... Thank you, I guess? What? I'm not even... It's not like I put any work into this. I'm not putting any... Yeah, that was always my reaction to compliments like that. I never thought of them as compliments. I was just like, okay. Right? If you say so. Okay, thanks. Cameron, you're so funny. Oh, okay. Haha, hee hee. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Haha. Wow. I keep saying these compliments as if I actually am funny. But these are just... I'm just kind of exaggerating these subtle examples. These people that end up liking me. More people end up liking me than I ever want to like me. Right? Like I said, I get more attention than I ask for. Way more attention than I ask for. So I gotta hide myself. I gotta hide that part of me. I gotta hide my personality. And how do I do that? Well, I have to act completely disinterested, completely indifferent to everybody and everything around me. And, well, if you act like that, after a certain amount of time, it starts to become a part of you. Those behaviors become ingrained into your personality, and now you really are someone who doesn't care about anything. You used to care about things. You used to care about memorizing dozens to hundreds of digits of pi. And yet now you can't even bother. And if you were to even try to get back in, to get interested in it again, there's a part of you that will fight you the whole way. I used to love math. That was my thing growing up. Math was my thing. Growing up through my teenage years, developing these schizoid behaviors, my love for math, it has been strangled. It's not dead yet, right? I still like to watch videos about cool math topics and whatnot. Recently, I've been listening to a podcast called The Rest is Science, hosted by Michael Stevens and Hannah Fry. Dude, I love that shit. And then, of course, all the other, sort of educational YouTube channels and whatnot. Vsauce, clearly, but also Number File, Computer File, and Stand Up Maths, and Stephen Mould, and Veritasium. I love that stuff, right? I'm a nerd. To put it simply, I am a nerd. But because I have developed these schizoid behaviors, it's not that I have lost interest. It's more that there's a part of me that there's a greater part of me that keeps the smaller part of me that likes to be nerdy locked in a cage, right? The nerd in me is locked in a cage because I don't know what you call it. My greater ego, my greater conscience has decided that me being a nerd is not safe. People start to get in your business. People want to know things about you. People want to be your friend. People want to say hi to you. People want to know everything about you. People want to compare themselves to you. You become very popular very fast. And that's very invasive. And the only way to protect myself is to act completely disinterested. And those subroutines that I've developed to pretend as if I am disinterested, well, they are now so ingrained that anytime I try to be interested in anything beyond just, cool, right? Anytime I try to actually commit to one of these interests, there's a part of me that just beats me to a pulp. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just this intense, overwhelming sensation of, this is not worth your time. This is not worth anything. Nothing is worth anything. What are you doing? You should stop doing this. You should stop being interested in this thing. Stop trying to make yourself trying to build something out of yourself. I don't know how else to describe it. Just stop being yourself, basically. Just stop it. Stop. What is this? No. You're not supposed to show interest in anything. Don't do that. Right? It's just this overwhelming feeling of, I don't want to do this anymore. I give up. And, well, that's depressing. That's it's really fucking depressing anytime you go through that. Just extreme nihilism and apathy. Yeah, I just don't want it. It's like, but why? I don't know. I just don't want it. Well, now I do know why. It's my fucking psychology. My brain has learned how to keep myself safe from the dangers of people liking me. That's how I try to that's how I would describe it to my psychiatrist back when I was doing the evaluation. I don't want people to like me. I don't want friends. I don't want more friends. I mean, I already have friends, right? Online friends, but I don't want friends in real life. Nope. I don't want anything more than what I have. I don't want people to like me, right? I don't go above and beyond for people's approval. I don't work hard because I want people to notice. I work hard because that's just part of the job. I'm just doing my job, and then, it turns out I'm doing better than most people would expect, and so, wow, and now I'm getting a lot of attention at work, and oh shit, okay, well, now I need to fucking stop showing up to work every so often to subtly signal to everybody that I am not reliable. My attendance is not reliable, so stop trying to put responsibility on me. So when are you gonna climb the ladder? When are you gonna be a manager? When are you gonna because man, you would be a great manager, Kevin. Yeah, totally. I don't know, someday maybe. I don't really want it, to be honest. Okay, that's great. But you work so hard though. I mean, you already do everything, that a manager would do. You just have that title, you'd get extra pay? No thanks. No thank you. Alright, it's the detriment of my own success. And I can't help myself, because I get bored. And I get bored because, well, my brain requires more stimulus than the average person. And how do I stimulate my brain? Well, by working as efficiently as possible. I work as efficiently as possible, and to me, it's like, all right, yeah, I'm doing all right. This is like just this is a pretty chill day, but apparently I'm doing more work than everybody else. So, oops, oopsie daisy. I'm quote unquote working too hard, I guess. And now people expect me to move up the ladder to learn new skills. It's like, I don't want to fucking learn new skills. I'm just here for the money. I just want everyone to leave me alone. But no, people take notice. And then people start thanking me for my hard work. Oh my gosh, thank you, Cameron, so much. And I try to dismiss it as much as I can. Right? I avoid eye contact, I avoid conversations, I avoid people, I avoid any situation where someone might even think about trying to start a conversation with me. That's why I hate it when things get slow at work. Things get slow and people get bored, and well, what do people do when they get bored? They start talking to other people, and it's like, well, hey, I've never talked to this guy, Cameron. Hey, what's your name, Cameron? Oh, okay. Hey, what do you like to do for fun? And Cameron's like, try to give answers as vague as possible, and the instant that I see the opportunity to go and do more work, or to just run away or whatever, it's like, I go for it, dude. Don't talk to me. I don't want you to like me. That's what it all comes back to. I don't want you to like me. Because at some point you're going to share this information with someone else, and then they're going to start to take an interest in me, and then they're going to start asking me questions, and then they're going to start sharing information to other people, and then, right, I'm going to become more popular than I want to be, faster than I can handle. There's not a whole lot of structure to this conversation at this point. I'm just kind of rambling. Maybe I can make it seem more digestible after I'm done editing, or while I'm editing it. My goodness, it's gonna be I hate editing. I hate editing videos. So I'm gonna hate every moment of this. Not only listening to my own voice, but also just fucking deciding what to keep in the video or not. I'm tempted to just leave it all in. Raw. 100% raw. Just one massive video journal. I mean, that's kind of the point of this video series. I play Minecraft. I show the progress on my Minecraft world, while I also share parts of my life. Right? Something like that. Maybe whoever finds themselves clicking on this video will just kind of put it in the background, kind of like a, right? That's what people do nowadays, right? They just find some kind of long form video where someone's talking, or some people, multiple people are talking, and it's just kind of like noise in the background. Sometimes they'll listen in on the conversation. Sometimes they'll just kind of have it as background noise. I don't know. You know what? Yeah. I'll just keep it raw. I'll probably cut out like the really long silent parts where I'm not talking or doing anything. But otherwise, you're getting everything. All the good, all the bad, all the boring. I don't know. Fully unedited. But it's not fully unedited. It is mostly fully unedited. Hee hee ha ha. So anyway, over the last year I've been trying to process all that. Why have I developed these behaviors? Why has it led to the diagnosis of a personality disorder? And how do I feel about it? Do I want to stay this way? Should I stay this way? Or should more like, should I change? Right? Should I change? Should I want to change? Do I want to change? Would changing make my life better? Can I rely on someone to ensure that me changing will not disrupt my sense of safety and privacy. How do I go about that? What parts of my life do I need to change altogether in order to ensure a maximally optimal life experience for me, right? Specifically for me, not in general, right? I fucking hate trying to listen to advice for general people. You need to travel the world, you need to do this, you need to do, I don't fuck, no. You need to connect with, you need to speak to at least 3 people every day. No, dude, what? No, absolutely not. I will admit I need to speak to more people. I need more people in my social circle, to some degree. But to try and convince myself that I need to become a socialite that is preposterous. Absolutely not, dude. No. That sounds like hell to me. Like, actually. But you'll rise out of it and you'll be born anew, you'll be a new person. It's like, that's not the same person now, is it? Do I want to be that person? Fuck no. I like being the quiet guy, okay? Right? Me being completely isolated in my room. Nobody else to bug me. Like, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this version of me. I just need to be more comfortable being this version of me out in public. And being more open to speaking with other people so that I can build up my support structure. Or whatever you call it. Because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how much money or how much success you have. It comes down to who you know. If you ever need anything, it comes down to who you know. If you know the right people, you can get absolutely anything you want. Anything you need. Doesn't matter the price. If you know the right people and you have the right kind of relationship with them, man. I think about that a lot. Being the gifted kid. Like, everyone expected me to, be some valedictorian at some sort of prestigious university or whatever, become like the next great scientist or some shit. Like, everyone hyped me up. Most of this is in middle school, but a lot of it is throughout my earlier years as well. Just like, everyone thought I would be this absolutely God-sent intelligent man of the future. Some shit like that. Sometimes I wonder what that would actually be like. Like, what does that even entail? How would I even get there? Could I get there? Probably not. Because I didn't have access to those resources. I grew up in a single mother household. My parents divorced when I was 5. My mother, working full-time, minimum wage, she did not have the time, nor the money, nor the connections to ensure that I could even fulfill that kind of life, fulfill that kind of prophecy of being the next Einstein or some shit. Apparently in 3rd grade there was like this standardized test that everybody took of some kind, whatever it was. It was supposed to measure like general intelligence. Like, are you more advanced than your peers? Should you be in some sort of like specialty program for gifted students, something like that. And apparently I qualified. And because I qualified, I was eligible to like partake in this sort of like secondary school classroom thingamajig program. I don't even know. I know that there were a couple kids in my elementary school that went to it. It was like every Friday or every other Friday. I would notice they're not in class. That's because they're at this other program. They're at this program, doing whatever it is they're doing. And my mother couldn't sign me up for that program because she had no one to take me there. She would be the one responsible for getting me there and then take me back to my primary class. And it's like, well, shit. How different would my life be if my mother could have made that happen? You know? If I was given all the opportunities, all adequate resources to fully develop as this gifted child, what would I be like? Would I become the quote-unquote next Einstein? Like, certainly not Einstein, but definitely some kind of renowned academic, for sure. Who knows? Who knows, man? I will say I never quite fit in with the sort of higher class, so to speak. I had a friend in middle school who kind of adopted me into his friend group. His friend group, oh man, they were high class, for sure. At least compared to where I was. Like I said, single mother household, minimum wage. Very different life. Very different way of living for a child than living in a single mother household on minimum wage is a very different way of living than a child living in a stable household with married parents who have, well, not only a stable household, but just like the same house for their entire life. Me? No, man. Living out of apartments. I can remember, well, let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4. 4 different places that I've lived growing up. Before my high school years. It's like, that's not stable. For a child, that's not stable. So anyway, this friend, he adopts me into his friend group. It's their understanding of how life is supposed to be is very different from mine. And he adopts me into this friend group. Why? I don't know. Because he thinks I deserve to be there, some shit like that. I remember one time he would ask me, kind of in a not very nice way. Let's put it like almost kind of like shunning me. Like, why are you hanging out with them? Right? Because before I met him, I would sit at the lunch table with with the kids that I was most comfortable with the kids, the lower income, probably not married parents. Clothes are not so nice. Hygiene, not so nice. Sense of manners and politeness, not so much. But I felt more comfortable with them because that's what I grew up with. And this friend of mine in middle school, he just kind of like, why are you hanging out with them? Come with us, sit with us. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, sure, okay. But looking back on it, I'm like, man, Should I have held myself? I don't. I should have had more agency on who I hung out with. Because I just kind of let people tell me what to do. I was a people pleaser. I wanted to be the good boy and do what people tell me. Okay, cool, awesome, great, wonderful. I'll hang out with you because you told me to. Alright. I never talked to anyone in that friend group other than that one friend. I would sit at the table, I'd eat my lunch in 5 minutes, and then I would just stare at the table, or read a book, or do my homework. I never involved myself with any of those people. And yet they accepted me as one of their own. Why? To be honest, I think it's because I was so goddamn smart. Right? Right? Everyone subconsciously saw that as like some high value status symbol thingamajig. It's like, hey, yeah, we got the smart one. We got the really smart one. Look at us. Yeah, we're cool. I don't know. I don't know how else to. I don't fucking know. I don't know how they actually saw it. It probably wasn't as explicit as that. But still, it's like, I don't think I ever really belonged. I never felt like I belonged in that group. I just kind of went along with it. And me going along with it, I kind of became my downfall. Mentally. Not so much in terms of my status, but mentally, it was my downfall, for sure. Because I became pretty popular pretty quick. Everyone was in my business. Everyone was talking about me. Everyone wanted something to do with me for clout or whatever. I don't know. I never looked too far into it. I was just like, anytime anyone talked to me, it's like, huh? Oh yeah, You know, I try to be friendly because that's what you're supposed to do. Be friendly. When someone talks to you, you talk back. You respond. But then I would respond in a certain way that didn't really reciprocate interest. I'm talking more specifically with the girls. Any of the girls that would hit on me. Or try to flirt with me or whatever. Right, I would just kind of sit there and look at them like, okay. And then they would get offended. Or just confused or whatever. He's like, well, I would just kind of walk away from that experience like, what just happened? What was that? Why? One time where during gym class, we were outside on the field playing softball. And I used to play baseball before that. I was pretty good at it. And so there was one time where I got a good hit on the ball and I ran to first base. And then the girl that was defending first base, she looked at me and she was like, nice, I don't know, nice shot, whatever the fuck she said, something along those lines. That was a nice hit. And I was like, I know, right? And she was just like, what? She was offended. She was like, you're supposed to say thank you. I'm like, what? Oh, oopsie. Like, in my mind, I was like, yeah, that was a pretty good shot. I'm pretty proud of myself. But no, she was expecting me to respond. Where's my bed? drop my bed? Where's my bed? What the heck, man? Where's my bed? Did I never pick it up? Did I break it and never pick it up? Well, this ain't good. Dude, where's my bed? Did I leave it up there? Oh, there it is. I sees it. But yeah, she was expecting me to say thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. But I didn't. And so from then on, she thought I was a total prick. I was like, oh, okay, that wasn't my intention. I just thought, you know, wow, that was a pretty good shot. Wow, hey, wow. I wasn't thinking, yeah, I'm the shit. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm pretty awesome. It's more like, yeah, dang, that was pretty good. But anyway, moments like those where I've learned that a lot of the time when people talk to you, people give you, especially when they give you a compliment, they're not giving you a compliment to make you feel better. No. They're giving you a compliment to show you that they're interested in you. They're giving you a compliment because they expect that they're a sane person, a respectable person would hope that you would reciprocate. You know, that something along those lines. Hey, that was pretty good. Why, thank you. Well, you know, you're not too bad yourself. Oh, why, thank you. You know, a respectable person would hope for that kind of reciprocation. But a lot of people are not. Not everybody is very respectable. They give you a compliment and they expect you to reciprocate. And if you don't reciprocate, well, then you're an asshole. So, moments like those where I've learned that responding to someone complimenting you is not really worthwhile. Or sometimes maybe it is, but like, there's something underneath it, right, that you just can't quite trust. Right? They give you a compliment and it's like, okay, what do you want? You want something from me. What do you want? You're trying to get me to like you. Why? I really don't know what I'm going on about anymore. I might just end up deleting all of this. I either delete it all or I just scrunch it all together and then upload it without even looking back on it. Just boom, it's out there. There you go. Somebody else can make sense of this. I got one more. Man, this is taking a lot longer than I thought. Oh no. There we go. Okay, let's get back on the topic of shame. Shame in general. Shame of being gifted, shame of being who I am, shame of being different. I still carry a lot of shame. Like I've killed the sort of part of me that where I can confidently say that I am quote unquote successful. I am not successful. I am a stereotypical loser who stays in his room and plays video games all day. Doesn't have any friends. Has almost no dating experience. Yada yada. No plans. No plans for my future. Not really. Just kind of aimless. Just kind of whatever. But I still hold a lot of shame, and it's for letting myself go. It's for neglecting myself. For developing these behaviors. For losing interest in the things that I used to love. Math. Academia in general. You know. The cool shit. I am ashamed for letting myself go. For letting myself get out of shape. Because man, I've already tried to get back into college 3 times. And every time I feel so retarded. I'm embarrassed of myself. Now, of course, nobody around me knows what I used to be like. But I do. And it's embarrassing for myself. It's humiliating, right? And it's like, oh my god, this is just awful. And so that embarrassment combined with, you know, the sort of apathy and nihilism that I've developed over the years, it's really hard to stay committed to something like that. To any sort of long-term classroom setting. Any long-term commitment of anything, really. Commitment, any kind of commitment of bettering myself or starting a new skill of any kind. There's so many things I want to learn. So many hobbies I want to get into. But I'm kind of afraid. I don't want to get into them because I know it's like I'm afraid someone will see it. If I start to integrate some new hobby into my life, then it's going to start to reflect in my daily mannerisms, right? If I start to learn music, how to play an instrument or whatever, and I end up meeting someone else who also plays music, not directly, but more just like indirectly, like just passing by, or like someone at work or something, they might notice me do something specific, and it's like, oh, do you play music? Do you play an instrument? I do. Oh my god, I knew it. I knew it. Cameron, guys, everybody, Cameron plays an instrument. Whoa, really? No way. Right, it's like, if I integrate something into my daily life, how much of that will reflect in my daily habits, in my mannerisms, in my personality? And will anyone see it? Will people be able to see it? Oh, probably. Yeah, I bet. Oh, I can't have that happen. Nope, 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 nope. How do I avoid that from ever happening? Well, I just never indulge in that interest. I am ashamed of myself for not following my own interests. I want to learn music. I want to learn how to play instruments. I want to learn piano. I want to get back into playing my violin. The violin that I've had in my closet for over a decade. Same with my guitar. I have an electric guitar that I've had since I was 10. Jesus Christ. I never did anything with it. Because I'm afraid that someone will latch onto that part of me, latch onto that identity of me, and start to give me more attention than I would ever ask for. Oh my gosh, Cameron, you're so cool. Guys, everybody, look, Cameron, you can do this thing. Cameron, show everyone that you can do this thing. No. I will not. I'm tired. Hold that, I'm just... Oopsie. That's not what I want. There we go. Okay, I'm actually like falling asleep now. So I guess I'll just end it here. Yeah. What a mess. What a mess this has been. None of this was organized. None of this was planned out really. I just kind of like, yeah, maybe I can sort of kind of talk about this. Maybe if I upload it, someone else can make sense of it. Maybe. Probably not. They'll probably be sitting there like, what is this dude talking about? What? Dude, I don't know anymore. Okay, I'm leaving now. Bye.